Okay. Shukach for joining me tonight. The Shiur, I'm on my way back. We're on our way back from Eretz HaKadosh, from Eretz Yisrael, and hopefully midway we'll be going back to Eretz Yisrael. So we are now in the Shulchan Aruch, the Tetzaveh Shulchan Aruch, Siman Reish Samach Beis. Siman Reish Samach Beis. We just finished Siman Reish Samach Aleph. It's a shurcha protest because we just spent a day in Tzvas, and then this simon is about bringing in Shabbos and about Chachomim reading the Shabbos by going out and saying Lechadoidi. 500 years ago in Tzvas, there was an awakening and a convergence of Chachmei Yisrael in a generation after the expulsion of Yidden from Spain. And there was the Ramak and the Arizal and the Rabbi Yosef Cairo, Maron, the Beis Yosef, the Bar, the Machab of the Shulchan Aruch, and the Baal Sefer Acharedim, the Rebbe Lezer Shamish, the Iskari, and the Moshe Alshich, and the Marit, and the Maritatz, and so on and so forth. And among them was Rav Shlomo Alkabetz. Rav Shlomo Alkabetz was Machaber, the Piyut Lechadoidi, which is accepted universally, and he's buried there. It's beautiful, as we know that Chassidim, the Talmidei Baal Shem Tov moved to Tzvas, and they reestablished what we know today, Yiddishkeit in Eretz Yisrael. This was a big group, a big shot in the arm for the Yishuv in Eretz Yisrael. It's interesting, just on a side note, but just like the Arizal and the Beis Yosef, one was Ashkenazi and one was a Sephardi, and they made Shidduchim among the daughter of the Beis Yosef married the son of the Arizal, or the other way around. Same thing it was with Reb Mendel Aradoker, who was a Talmid Chaved Alter Rebbe, and there was Reb Avram Abulafia, who was in Tveria, and the son of the one married the daughter of the other. Just get off the topic. And but back to two personalities in Tzvas that shape the way we accept Shabbos, Klal Yisrael. Shlomo Alkabetz with the Nigun Lechadoidi, with the Piyut Lechadoidi. Actually, last year I did throughout the summer, the Shiur for the women. I did every Shabbos 1 or 2 pieces from Lechadoidi Api Pshat Remez Drush Soid. There's a lot in Chassidus on the Lechadoidi as well. And the lesser known is Rebbe Lezer Iskari, who was considered a Shamish, but you got to be careful with the Shamish and a Shul. It could be a Tzaddik Nister, and there was told that Rebbe Lezer Iskari had Gilei Elyonovi. There's a Shul today where they show you a cove, and they say that this is a place of Gilei Elyonovi. Rebbe Lezer Iskari also wrote a piyut, which is universally used to bring in the Shabbos, and that's we say by Mincha Shabbos, he did nefesh. Yidi nefesh overach mon mishov avoichav dechov v'tzoynacho. That's one of 100 tunes, or you could do other tunes. This is also a tune that was attached to Yidid Nefesh, the Chabad Nigun. Okay, fine. Enough of Akdoma. I was we were in Tzvas, so we were in many shuls, among them the shul, the Beis Knesset, the Maria Buab. Fascinating stories. The Shamish of the shul told me that he wrote a book, and I paid him for it, and he gave me a sefer. It's fascinating that there's 25 sources for his sefer, and some of them are very interesting, very good sources. Interesting to me is that one of the sources is a book written by Zalman Shazar, who was a president of Israel, second president of the state of Israel, was in the Scott of Yiddishkeit through the Rebbe. It became a full Shema Torah mitzvahs. He wrote about the city and the history of the city of Tzfas. Okay, so Bli Neder, when I get back, and fascinating stuff. Okay, sorry, let's get straight to the Shulchan Aruch. Before we start, I just want to finish off again, just a little in the last two sifim, Simanesh Machalef. The Shulchan Aruch says, "Misheini baka b'shir bein hashmoshe, v'eini dei emasei Yosef Elov." A person who is not baki in the shir bein hashmoshes. Like the Gemara said, that Rava said l'shamei, "Atan delokim lechon b'shure derabanan, shim shebereish dik liadliku shirag." So tzarich listalek min kol sofek. He has to go away from any sofek, any question. Harbe koydem tchilas shkia, to Mekabel Shabbos a long time before the beginning of Shkia. V'lachein yadlik haner is therefore he should light the candles when the sun is on top of the trees. And if it's a cloudy day, yadlik shenik tar and the girl malakodim b'yom should light when the birds, when the chickens are sitting. And as the sun sets, they sit on the beam. The ravens that are in the field also Yoshim Shema B'Yom. There's another simon the Gemara gives of the grass that turns in the morning towards Mizrach and in the evening towards Ma'ariv. And by Parshas, the reason the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring it, the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring it, is because we don't know what kind of simon is. We have no idea which type of grass it is. So this is not going to help us. That's why it's not brought in the Shulchan Aruch. A few nekudas, two main nekudas. I want to talk about two main nekudas. Something that I did not mention in last week's shiur. Now, when he said in here Shulchan Aruch, we were going still with the shit of the Rabbeinu Tam. That when the Shkia Sachama means nothing, that's just the time when you should start thinking about the surface, and from when the Shkia is 72 minutes, or Malach Dalad Milam, which could mean 72 minutes, or Shos Shavis or Shos Manias, probably doesn't mean 72 minutes. Mamash, it means halachic 72 minutes, which could mean 40, 50 minutes, or could mean an hour and a half. Anyway, 72 minutes, and then we bounce back 13 and a half minutes, and that's the second shkia. And that's when it starts Benish Moshes. So when he says Tzorich Listal Kol Sofek L'Kabel Shabbos Harbe Yosef Tchilas Shkia, I just want to explain. L'choyda, and I see that in out of 72 Ein Beis, Rabbi Levin writes the same thing. He writes that when he says Koydem Tchilas Shkia, he means Shkia Shniya. It's hard to imagine that, according to Rabbeinu Tam, we mean Harbe Koydem Tchilas Shkia, and we mean Shkia Rishona. And I'll prove it to you, because we know that according to Rabbeinu Tam, Shkia is this man when you do Tetzaveh Shabbos. If you want to do 72 minutes, now if you want a little extra Tetzaveh Shabbos, we could do Plag Mincha, which is 75 minutes, 3 minutes earlier. And when is this man that the Alter Rebbe says, according to Goinim, is this man at Tetzaveh Shabbos? 4 minutes before Chol HaShkia. That's 1 full minute before. That's 1 full minute before. According to the Rabbeinu Tam, you can't even Makabel Shabbos before that. So obviously, when the Alter Rebbe said Harbe Yosef Koydem Tchilas Shkia, obviously he meant the second Shkia. Let's read Aruch 72. Hainu l'shittas Rabbeinu Tam, Shidei Aleph. Alva l'shittas hagoyim rei sedach notzu Shabbos b'tchilos. Sheshkini anidis shemesh b'rosh elonos. Was man kotze lefnei Shkia mitis shemesh b'rosh elonim. The discrepancy of the Shkia Nidis is when you see it dripping, the sun coming down from the horizon, and the Shkia Mitis, if you're standing by Rosh Har Carmel, the discrepancy out there is 4 minutes. It's not as my harb, it's my kotze. Question is, the Siddur he brought a raya from the Rabbeinu Hananel, Rashi, that we said that when that Atan Olakim Lachub B'Shura the Rabbanon, and we said earlier in the Gemara that we said what's the Shiur? What's the Shiur of Ben Hashmoshes according to the Nehemiah? We said a person is going to go down from Har Carmel. So that's the Shkia Mitis. Well, the answer obviously has to be that the Rabbeinu Tam didn't learn like Rashi. Again, that the Rabbeinu Tam did not learn like Rashi. Must say that Rabbeinu Tam did not learn like Rashi, because if you learn like Rashi, Rashi said that what is Ben Hashmoshes? We spoke about it in the Gemara Shiur we did last week, but upon him, what's Ben Hashmoshes? So as soon as the sun sets from Har Carmel, that's when Ben Hashmoshes starts. By the time the guy runs down, Tailis comes out, then it's Vadei Laila. So if we're saying that that's the Zman that a person should light before that, but according to the Minatam, that's not true. So therefore, Muzma Zogin that the Minatam learned like Toisves, which is a totally different pshat. Toisves said that a person, when he sees the sun set from Har Carmel, he could still toivel in the mikveh and dry out and jump out, and that's still considered a kosher tefillah, and considered tefillah bayom, and then there was a kosher harav shemesh. Okay, I'm sorry, Anarichas, just wanted to make something clear, something from last week that I didn't get a chance to. One more nakuda, which is Aura 59. A very important thing. That's why you see in calendars it could be sometimes a discrepancy of a few minutes in the Zman of the Alter Rebbe in the morning and at night. The question is, when we count Shazmanias, we say that the day has 12 hours, and we split the pie evenly in 12 hours. So if the day has only 10 hours, so every hour has less than 60 minutes. So where do we go? From Alois Shachat to Tzeis HaKachavim, or from Netzach Chama till Shkiyas HaChama? And b'Mishnah Achrona the Alter Rebbe, it's from Netzach Chama to Shkiyas HaChama. But since Netzach Chama and Shkiyas HaChama is not by the horizon, it's standing on a tall mountain, and the discrepancy there is 4 minutes. So therefore, there could be a lot of nafkaminas when you're counting, because you're counting the hours in the day, and the day has 8 more minutes according to the Alter Rebbe. Okay, that's the second nakuda. Wrapped it up. That's negayah to last week's Shiur, and let's start this week's Shiur. Reb Shlomo Alkabetz Lechadoidi and Reb Eliezer Iskari of Yedid Nefesh. Siman Reish Samach Beis Lekapas HaShabbos Shulchan Aruch B'Ksus Nakiya. A person has to sanctify the Shabbos with a nice table and with nice garments. Tzorach Adam L'Sada Shulchan Berev Shabbos Leil Shabbos. A person has to prepare their table on Friday for Leil Shabbos. V'yatzia mitas, to make nice sheets on the beds. Sheyoshim Aleim, those mitas that they sit. I mean, we call today a couch, and a bed. But to them, a mita was anything you recline. It could be a bed, it could be a couch. Everything from the house should be prepared, should be mesuder. The house should be mesuder. So when he comes home from shul, the house looks beautiful. The house is all set up. Shazeu Kovet Shabbos. That's the Kovet of Shabbos when he comes into the house, coming back from shul, that the house is neat, the house is clean, the house is nice. So it's not just a nice thing. This is a chelik of the mitzvah of Kovet Shabbos. Shulchan Aruch b'mapa kol yom HaShabbos l'Kovet Shabbos. The minig is, now this is not an obligation. It's a minig Yisrael Toidehi, to have a mapa, a tablecloth on the table, and that's considered Kovet Shabbos. Person could ask, maybe it could be a fancy situation, fancy table, and the person doesn't want to put a tablecloth on the table. Yeah. So I'm sorry. L'chaim. And so the minig is to put a tablecloth on the table. Maybe today someone's going to say a fancy table. I don't know if it changes. The minig is to put a tablecloth. Main l'shanis. Shouldn't be meshana from this minig. V'yesh lo yagim li is beis mapes ala shulchan, to put two tablecloths. Besides the one that covers alechem, two tablecloths. Why put two tablecloths? Because when you clean off the tablecloth from the crumbs, so the table will be exposed in the chain. So therefore you have one tablecloth that's stays constantly on the table. The other tablecloth, at the end of the meal, when you shake up the tablecloth to get off the crumbs, the table is still covered with the tablecloth. To clean the house, that there should be no koiri achbish, should be no spider webs in the house. Okay? You have to live in Flatbush for that. Not everywhere in the world do you have spiders kriechen around. So we're lucky we could be mekayim this mitzvah. Manakas habayis l'kovet Shabbos, to clean the house l'kovet Shabbos. B'toiv lizor b'sudas halayla shelo yizer dover b'bayis chutz l'shulchan imein darkei l'chabed habayis b'dover amuter. It's toiv, the Alter Rebbe says. It's good to be careful not to throw something unless he has a mutadik way of sweeping the floor. But if he doesn't have an eitzah, how to sweep the floor in a mutadik way, could be a lot of problems with sweeping the floor. It could be ashvaz gumas. There could be the muktzah, the broom itself is muktzah. So if you haven't figured that out, how to figure out how to do it in a kosher way to sweep the floors. If you did not figure out how to do a kosher sweeping on your floors, don't throw things on the floor, because in the shame for Shabbos will stay there. We're going to learn a mitzvah the Kuntasachim, why the Alter Rebbe is medayik, that it's only toiv lizor, and that's not an absolute chiyuv in Gabi Shabbos. Alter Rebbe will bring rayas from the Gemara. You can't say it's a chiyuv gomer, but it's toiv. So again, toiv lizor besud salai l'shuli yizrek dover chutz l'shochem and darke l'chabed b'bayis b'tavar muta and shem lamatzayin achar suda zoi shaloi yinavel asbayis elo. It shouldn't make the house dirty. Elo yizrek al mapish al shulchan. If you have things, throw it on the tablecloth. Then he'll take the tablecloth and he'll shake out that in his backyard or in the garbage can. He'll shake out the crumbs. So the shachris, same thing. So the shachris, same thing. If you're not going to have it figured out how to sweep the floor, don't throw things on the floor. The person to make your shtatus of nice clothing for Shabbos, as much as a person can afford to have nice begodim for Shabbos. that the person should machab Shabbos with a clean beged. Spoke about this once. The Rebbe said, as many chassidim, to wear a beged meshi, to wear a beged that's made out of silk on Shabbos davka, and today there's also, you could buy a beautiful gartel that's made out of silk covered Shabbos, and it has a maila. What's the maila? Because it's most of the begodim are doimim, and this is the inyan of or tzomeach, and this is chai because it comes from a worm. And mamish comes from, so it has a mile of chai to do with the sikha that we learned Sunday, that the mila of the oidis, that they were from chai, and even the color was, the beautiful colors was a lebedik, it wasn't artificial, it was a lebedik color. Okay, back to here, because the pasuk says, Chacham said, the covet of Shabbos is that the lavush is a different lavush. Shal malbush nikr kovet shemachabes adam, that the malbush is called kovet. Like every day, Gemara says that Rabbi Yochanan kori lamani mechabdusa. That Rabbi Yochanan used to call the begodim mechabdusa because it's machabed the person. When a person wants to be mechubed, he wears a nice beged. For case in point, in the beginning of this week, Mr. Zelensky came to the White House, and when he was soifig as Araboim, the Echapta Abitush, and a lot of bizyonis from the President and the Vice President of the United States of America. Now, I know some of you are think he deserves it, and are happy for it, and I'm not a politician, so get finished on. But one of the pshatim that they said, the Dorshe Shumois, the Mevine Dova said that he was told to come to the White House with a suit. And he came like an Oiba Chacham, dressed with his sweater and military fatigue. And therefore he ticked off the President of the United States that he did not respect his request. When you come to the White House, you're expected to come with a nice suit. The same thing when it comes to Shabbos Begodim. There's New Age Shabbos Begodim, but the Minig Yisrael could say this type of hat, this type of suit, just because it was invented in Italy 150 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever. So the Minig Baklal Yisrael, just like the United States President, if you come dressed with military fatigue or a funny sweater, like Mr. Zelensky, then you get kicked out with bushes. So, Loye Toira Shleim Shalonu Kisichas Chulun Shalahem, that you see that the White House was insulted, that Mr. Zelensky came without a suit. So, Shabbos deserves that we should wear nice begodim. Okay. Why? So continue back in the Sif. Why did Rabbi Yochanan say that the bagad is called mechabdusa, mechabed the person? When a person comes to a town, no one knows him. If he wears nice begodim, so mechabed him. So therefore, he called him mechabdusa. So when the pasuk says v'chibadetoi, mechabed Shabbos, it means with a nice beged. He doesn't have. So at least he should drag his begodim a little lower. Klapimata Shiur Aruch, umidas hashira mayoshrim beisim ve'enitzrich lasal begdeim in aretz shel malach b'kovet Shabbosu. The rich people, at least he should pull his pants down, because in those days the workers used to pull their pants up. They shouldn't get their pants caught up or dirty. But the Ashirim, they don't have to go to work, would pull their pants down. So at least he should pull his pants down. I'm saying pants, begodim, whatever bag it is. Have a special talis, Shabbos dike talis. The story of the Alter Rebbe, what was the story of the Alter Rebbe? That when the Alter Rebbe was in Tfisa, he was thinking, how could he wear a special beged l'koved Shabbos? That they should have begodim noim l'Shabbos. A thread that they would tie their socks with a bow, and that would hold their socks up. So the Alter Rebbe had a nostichel, as he had a handkerchief, and he undid the edges of, and he pulled out every Friday a new long thread, and that he had as a beged chodesh l'koved Shabbos. That was his beged chodesh. There's on Semaisa, they're not just changing one malbush. Everything they wear in Shabbos is new. Even the belt, the pants, the shirt, everything. Shabbos, it's good to wear the big Shabbos until after Havdalah. A person should wear the begodim noim and be proud and be happy and rejoice. The Shabbos comes in just like he rejoices when he greets the king. Like greeting the chos nakal, like the Gedolei Chachamim in the time of Chazal did. Let's go greet Shabbos the queen. Some go out to the chotzer, some go out to the field, some go out to the chotzer. Some to the field, some to the chotzer. That's the reason I gave once a sheet about this on Sunday morning. That's the reason why we turn around. One of the reasons. Kilo, we're going out to greet the Kedusha Shabbos. It still doesn't mean that we're Mekabel Shabbos through saying Lechadoidi, even though Big Tzaddikim said they felt already the Neshama Yeseda, but that's, forget, we're going out to bring in the Shabbos. Okay, the best thing is to put on Big the Shabbos right after he bathed. He bathed himself l'koved Shabbos. That the rechitza should be close to the evening. A little bit Big the Shabbos, we had right away to put on Big the Shabbos. In order to put it on close to Knesset Shabbos. Through that, Yanikir should be shvil cover the Shabbos. Will be nikir that he's putting it on the cover the Shabbos. Okay, Blineder, we'll do we will do next week. Blineder we will do the we have a little piece that we have to go to Sachem. We almost finished everything that there is in the Simonim from Bamem Adlikin. There is still two Simonim we'll do. There is Siman Reish Nun Aleph and Reish Nun Vov. I just took copies with me, so I don't have the whole Alter B'Shulchan. So Bli Neder, we'll do it next week. Be'ezus Hashem Yisborach. Thank you very, very much for joining us. I'm on my way back. Like I said, Be'ezus Hashem Yisborach. That'll come back to New York, straight back to Eretz HaKodesh. Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh B'Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu. Good night. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm Bli Neder coming back to New York. So we're gonna have the regular Tanya Shiur. We're holding already Sof Perek Ches in Igeres HaTshuva. So please join us if you can. A gute Nacht, Kol Tov.